A tēnā tātou. Aotira koutou e ngā iwi. O te motu koutou ngā iwi o Tāmaki Makaurau tēnā koutou. Aotira koutou hoki e te poari e te kaunihira Richard. A karanga mai ki a mātou ki a Ngāti Whatua. A karanga mai ki a mātou I rungi tēnei take nui. I'll change the channel too. Right. Thank you for the invite to come here today. Ngāti Whatua have come here today. We are the representation of the tribal board. We are the representation of our taumata kaumātua kuia. And we've come here today on the back of a very, very disturbing situation which we only found out via Facebook. And all I want to say is that Richard, and to you Kerrin, Deputy, is that Ngāti Whatua are not happy. Ka re mātou I te pai, ka re mātou I te harikoa. And what we've seen on Facebook has been the engagement of a person, Pauroto Ngaropo, who has a background of going and spreading his philosophy regarding mana whenua and histories. And I'm afraid to say that however that situation came up, where he was engaged by your people, by your board, kei te he, kei te he, kei te he. That there was a direct takahi on the mana of my people. That there was a direct takahi on the mana of Ngāti Whatua. Mana whenua of Tāmaki Makaurau, of this area here, stretching out to the Western Springs area, where my tupuna Apihai Te Kawau, in 1840, signed the Treaty of Waitangi, that sacred covenant which we, as iwi, still hold fast to with belief that one day it will be upheld by our partner. But I'm here today to say to you, Kerrin, and to you, Richard, Ngāti Whatua is very, very disturbed. Ngāti Whatua is very, very unhappy that you and your board would look to initiate and activate some relationship with a man who has a record and a history of being a tutu within the mana whenua areas of other people, and now he's come back here to Tāmaki, to where his people were staying at one time. Like most people, Ngāti Whatua also have a history here. The difference between the history of Ngāti Awa and the history of Ngāti Whatua is that we are mana whenua. We are the mana whenua of Aorohe, and I'm afraid to say that the council and the boards here do no justice to the relationship that we have through the Treaty of Waitangi and also the friendship that we've enjoyed over the years. The friendship. But to have this put in our face is a slap on the face, Kerrin. He takahi tēnei. Takahi nui. So I'm here today to just say that Ngāti Whatua have enjoyed moments of progressive thinking around the table with the board, with the council, but I'm afraid today this relationship has gone back a step. In fact, it's gone back a number. And we're here today, myself, Joe Pihema, Tamati Patuwai, and Matt Rua, Matt being a member of the board, the Puari Matu of Ngāti Whatua, who are, I might say, aren't only a representative of a mana whenua, but we're also a major commercial partner in this town. With around $2 billion of assets and developments, we deserve to be treated with respect. Not only because of our commercial nous, but because of our position and status as mana whenua. From the time 1740 that my tupuna Tupuriri and Waha Akiaki, I'm afraid to say it, overcame the local people, conquered if you like, and set our main kāinga on top of Mount Maunga Kieke, One Tree Hill, the past site being Hikurangi. We've been here ever since, apart from a little holiday away when Ngāpuhi had guns. We have been here, and we are still here. And so I'm not going to plead. I'm not going to get on my knees. I'm mana whenua here. And my people and the mana of my tupuna deserve more respect from this board and from the Auckland City Council. Tomorrow there's a major hui at the town hall regarding engagement, civic engagements between mana whenua and the council. Well, gad, my mana has already been diminished through the democratisation of mana whenua status by having all these people who consider themselves mana whenua, from some fella who put his toenail on a bloody rock out in the Waitematā, to another group of people who stopped for a cup of tea and moved on. They're all at the table now, and my mana whenua has been diminished by a voting process which says, you get a vote, you get a vote, you get a vote, but Ngāti Whatua, who are the mana whenua tūturu, we are always blocked. And again, I say to the council and to the local board, whakatika ia koe. Look at yourself, correct yourself, and the harmony and the relationship that we are hoping to move forward on. Richard, rangatira koe, he rangatira. I know that as a member of the parliament, you were someone who spoke with the heart, the social issues of people. And I know that you've got that heart. And I'm hoping that the advice that you take regarding iwi mana whenua engagement is advice that comes from mana whenua and not from within your board. And I just want to say, Kerrin, that I looked at the kōrero that you put up when you were going to be voted. And your kōrero said, I'm just going to spend 1 more minute, and then I'm going to have a cup of tea with my whanaunga. This is what your kōrero said. Mai iwi a ngai takoto, Ngāti Kuri and Ngāti Pāwa. I believe providing Māori cultural advice, now I want to get back to that very quickly, and developing relationships with mana whenua are critical. Well, let me tell you, Ngāti Awa are not mana whenua. And I'm saying to you that Pauroto is putting out there that through his tupuna wairaka, he has mana whenua status. He does not.
I am aware of that.
No, he does not have mana whenua status.
I will get up and respond.
Well, I'm sure you're aware of it now,
No,
but you may not have been aware of it before.
aware of that.
Kei te pai, I've got the floor. What I'm saying to you is whatever advice you bring with your cultural learnings and with your expertise, I'm afraid you've severely derailed the relationship at this moment between this board and Ngāti Whatua. Own it. I'm here today to say we want to put that relationship back on track again, Richard. And we want to move forward in a progressive thinking way, but also remembering that there are tikanga and there are processes and there is an engagement process that we need to look at. And it's mana whenua. Not whoever's got the flashiest top hat and toko toko and can put a bullshit name to any rock and any stream and give a flash karakia. That's not mana whenua. That is a person who is going around the motu, disrupting and creating havoc. Nō reira kia tūpato koutou. Kia tūpato to that type of person who offers cultural advice. If you want cultural advice, if you want a relationship, if you want expertise, haere mai ki au, haere mai ki Ngāti Whatua, haere mai ki a mātou, kei a mātou ngā kōrero, mo tēnei takiwa, kei a mātou ngā kōrero, mo te mana whenua, o tēnei takiwa, kauaka ko tētahi rāwaho, tētahi karoro kai parau e tanoiho. Anei tāku ki a koe, whakatika i a koe, whakatika i o whakaro, Ngāti Pāwa, anei o whanaunga. Me mahitahi tātou. Mahitahi. Not to disrupt each other, because at this point in time, we are very, very supportive of Ngāti Pāwa re-establishing themselves on the riverbanks of the river that Ngāti Whatua te tau tuku via Tomo Aure, my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, via his wife, te tahuri. Hey, you know what I'm talking about. And that's how Ngāti Pāwa have land here. So I want to say to you, remember those parts of the history, remember those engagements that we've had as Ngāti Pāwa, te tau, ngāho, Ngāti Whatua, so that we don't allow outsiders to come in and disrupt our relationship. Richard, ko pautua ia hau, I've finished mine. I just want to say thank you again to the board for allowing Ngāti Whatua to come here today to voice our concerns. There is no plead here. We don't hop on our knees and ask that you have a relationship with us. You have one. It's just that it's fallen into disrepair. We're saying positively and on a front foot, let's reinvigorate that relationship, Richard. Let's invite you up to our marae for a cup of tea and a kōrero. Nā reira, e te tuahine, koutou, tātou mā ngā rangatira, kia ora tātou. E aha te hau, e wawara mai, he tiu he raki nāna, ia mai te pupu taraki hiki uta, e tiki nā tue. Te kotu o ia te po whakairo ka tūri Waitematā. I opu wairangi e kōkiri. Tēnā koutou. Thank you.
So I'll move that the board thank Joe and his colleagues for their presentation, and that the board is very pleased to accept the kind invitation to meet with Ngāti Whatua at the Ōraki Marae. That's right. So I'll move that. Is it seconded? Yep, seconded. Kerrin, welcome to the farm.
Kia ora. Kia ora koutou, mai nei. Kamihi atu kia koutou, mana whenua, Ngāti Whatua. Ai, he tino, wow, he tino pai, tō kōrero, he tino tika, tō kōrero, tēnei ata. I totally agree with everything that you have said this morning.
Kia ora.
And first of all, I would just like to acknowledge that everyone here has the responsibility of actually being culturally competent. But I would also like to say that in our draft plan, in response to that, what I noted was that is definitely an area that our local board need to work on. So it's not one individual, it's not me because I'm the only Māori on the board, or because I'm Ngāti Paua. It is our whole board and the whole community who have that responsibility of engagement.
Right.
So that's the first thing I'd like to say. The second thing I'd like to say is that aroha mai, that you weren't informed that Otini Rewiti, who is also Ngāti Whatua, was actually here and under my understanding was representing Ngāti Whatua at the first hui that we had with Maroko, is that how we pronounce his name? So apologies that kōrero did not come through to the wider whānau of Ngāti Whatua. As far as I was aware, that was his role to actually take that on board.
I'd like to reply to that at the end of your quarter. Thank you.
To feed that back. And he was also aware of the plan to meet and go through those stories. I just want to also reiterate that Ngāti Awa were not perceived to be seen as mana whenua. So the engagement was not about seeking their vote or seeking their view on the process. The kōrero was about them wanting to share a story. It was not about actually them having the mana whenua status, and Otini actually made a very strong statement about that when we had the hui. But in hindsight, after hearing your kōrero, of course, you should have been in the room. Or other board members from Ngāti Whatua should have been in the room, and we know going forward that we need to improve that practice. And as you've mentioned before, we have a chairperson who is very keen on moving those relationships forward and working on that, as well as a number of other issues that we're looking at going into the future. But I do want to just acknowledge your anger, your frustration.
I'm not angry.
Well, your frustration, your frustration.
Thank you.
Of feeling that you have been, that your iwi have been takahied in this situation, and that was never our intention. And especially mine, being Māori, even though it's everyone's responsibility here to actually have cultural competency, not just mine because I'm the only Māori, and I feel that was very disrespectful to point me out, actually. That's how I feel as a mana wahine. That was not correct to do that in that way. And if you need to do that in the future, then have a separate kōrero with me. Don't put me in a situation where you are going to actually single me out in front of a whole board here, made up of 7 people, that all equally have that responsibility. Okay? Because I actually feel that I've been takahi now, and you need to know that. So I will be taking that forward.
Right.
So kia ora whānau, and in addition to that, it's lovely to see everyone else here, and I do look forward to having future kōrero with Ngāti Whatua in the future, and getting the processes right for our local board and for mana whenua, and in addition strengthening the relationships with Ngāti Pawa. So kia ora mai tātou. E tū whānau. Te aroha, te whakapono, me te rangi mari e, tātou e. Ano. Te aroha, te whakapono, me te rangi mari e, tātou e. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, kia ora mai tātou katoa.
Ka pai. I'd just like to reply before we walk out of the room. Very briefly, I just want to talk to the communication via Otene. When there's communication with our people, it's not via an officer or a middle manager within the structure. It's rangatira to rangatira. It doesn't go via, because the bumpers to these to make later on. Oh, but we told Otene. No. When we have communication with my iwi, you speak through the board, through Marama Hawk, our chairman, or through Ngāti Whatua, our deputy chair, or through the taumata, but that's where the kōrero goes, not to a manager, my lovely cousin Otene. The second thing is that I single you out, Kerrin, because in your kōrero it states, and this is kōrero that brought you and gave you wings to be on this board, not because you're an expert in scientific matters to do with the ecosystem. It has got right here that you believe in providing Māori cultural advice. That is why I speak to you. And tikana, in a beautiful world that we're going to live in, everybody should have that capacity. But I'm afraid when I look around this table, immediately that is not the point here. That is not the case. That is not the case at people here. They will turn to you. I've been on a number of governance boards over my life. And I'm afraid that if that type of kōrero, I believe in providing Māori cultural advice, is something that you will put out there as a means for people to support you, well, that means that you're coming into this forum to provide that cultural advice. Hence, waku kōrero ki a koe. On that note, Ngāti Pawa, anea Ngāti Whatua, e hia nei ki te mahi ngātahi nei atuana wā. Richard, ko pautu wā kia mātou. To the board members, have a lovely day. E te iwi tēnā koutou. Kia ora tātou.
Joe, could I?
Oh.
May I?
Yeah,
Hi,
Sorry, I'm not sure. Do you have?
No, you just talk to us, Sarah.
Okay. My apologies to the chair that this is outside of standing orders, but I apologise that for my part in upsetting Ngāti Whatua, I do want to make clear that that was not an initiation by the board. It was in fact that Paramotor came to us, so I wanted to just pick you up on that. I'll own my mistake.
Thank you.
I was very interested in his kōrero.
It is very colourful.
It certainly is, and I should have been there in my personal capacity as opposed to a member of the board,
Oh,
so
okay.
I apologise.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll put the resolution that we think should be here about Ngāti Whatua and Matt Brewer for the presentation and explanation of in this meeting, and we accept the invitation to meet with Ngāti Whatua, the board to meet with Ngāti Whatua.
Can you speak into the microphone? We can't hear you, Richard.
I'm trying my best.
We've got a techo person.
Let's try again. that the board accepts the invitation to meet with Ngāti Whatua at the Auraki Marae. Okay, so I'll put that. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. That's carried. Thank you. Is there any other people seeking to speak in public forum? Any other people? Okay, so we move.
I'd like to speak in public forum.
Okay, come forward.
I think I'll just stand here if it's okay, it's too hard. I'd just like to acknowledge Ngāti Whatua o Aorake, who have just spoken. I want to be